Federal Judge Aileen Cannon actually issued an order favorable to Special Counsel Jack Smith and very damaging to Donald Trump and his co-defendants Walty Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, and she hints that there's even more bad news in store for Donald Trump. Judge Aileen Cannon granted Special Counsel Jack Smith's request under CIPA Section 4 to withhold certain classified documents and information from Donald Trump's co-defendants Walty Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira. And in fact, in this order that was issued by Judge Aileen Cannon, she also hints out as well that she may be withholding additional classified documents from Donald Trump that he and his lawyers are requesting. That's to be seen, but let's take a look at this order by Judge Aileen Cannon. Order granting Special Counsel CIPA Section 4 motion as to defendants Nauta and de Oliveira. So Donald Trump and his co-defendants filed separate motions to get access to this highly classified information that the special counsel wanted to withhold under CIPA Section 4. In order to get this information, a criminal defendant has to show that the classified documents are both relevant and would be helpful to their case. Here's specifically what CIPA Section 4 states. The court, upon a sufficient showing, may authorize the United States to delete specified items of classified information from documents to be made available to the defendant through discovery under the federal rules of criminal procedure, to substitute a summary of the information for such classified documents, or to substitute a statement admitting relevant facts that the classified information would tend to prove. Let's take a look at her order. Judge Aileen Cannon says this cause came before the court upon the Special Counsel CIPA Section 4 motion. So Special Counsel Jack Smith invokes the Classified Information Procedure Act. Section 4 says they are classified documents that they do not want to turn over, even under a Classified Information Procedure Act protective order, even under a CIPA Section 3 protective order. It says that this cause comes before them for defendants Nauta and de Oliveira who want access to that. Pursuant to Section 4 of CIPA, the special counsel requests authorization to withhold the access to this information. The special counsel also seeks an order withholding the entire text of his Section 4 submissions, the motions themselves, and the accompanying exhibits and declarations from defendant Nauta and de Oliveira and their counsel. Then defendants filed a joint public response and an ex parte classified supplemental response. And obviously, these lawyers are being paid for by Donald Trump for his co-defendants. So they're really doing the bidding on him. Judge Aileen Cannon talks about how they had these ex parte hearings that were held, and here's what she says that took place: that this order is granting Special Counsel Jack Smith's request as to defendants Nauta and de Oliveira's personal review of classified discovery, the Special Counsel's request as to the 4 categories of information, so another group of categories, Judge Aileen Cannon says, is addressed in a forthcoming order on Special Counsel CIPA Section 4 motions as to defendant Donald Trump. This ruling is made in connection with the court's forthcoming order denying defendant's motion for access. So what Judge Aileen Cannon's saying there is that not only, if you read what she's saying not only am I denying access to Walty Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, Donald Trump's co-defendants here, but the other aspect of their motion, she says, I'm not addressing in this order. I'm going to be addressing it in another order regarding Donald Trump's request for access to CIPA Section 4 materials, which she says that she will be denying defendants, and the way it's written, it would seem to imply all defendants' motions for access. So this is hinting that there's more bad news to come here for Donald Trump. Judge Aileen Cannon then discusses the legal standard for SIPA, which was the definition that I just gave you of the Classified Information Procedure Act, regulates the use of classified information in criminal cases. SIPA Section 4 governs the discovery of classified information and provides in relevant part what I read before, how the government can withhold certain documents and delete and not turn over documents. It goes on to say, Section 4 does not create a new law governing the admissibility of evidence. It contemplates the application of the general law of discovery in criminal cases as to classified information and how that is handled. SIPA Section 4 is designed to protect and restrict the discovery of classified information in a way that does not impair the defendant's right to a fair trial. In evaluating the special counsel SIPA Section 4 motions, the court applies the standard articulated in a case called United States v. Eunice, that's the precedent-setting case here, and related authorities. Under the Eunice framework, the court must first determine whether the government's assertion of privilege over the information is at least a colorable one. If this threshold requirement is met, the government's privilege still must give way when the disclosure of information is relevant and helpful to the defense of an accused. So that's the standard. First are these documents, think about it as 2 steps. Maybe even 3 steps. So step 1, are these documents actually privileged documents? Are they classified documents in the first place? Okay, if so, then you go to the next elements here. Then are these documents relevant or are these documents helpful? They have to be both relevant and helpful to the criminal defendant, and if they are not relevant and not helpful, then the special counsel, or in other cases the government, can withhold it. So what the government's always going to argue is these are privileged classified documents and they're not relevant or helpful. When you apply that standard to Waltine Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, special counsel Jack Smith argues these were individuals who, who basically moved these boxes and moved these documents and potentially destroyed surveillance footage at Donald Trump's request. Why does the substance of the documents themselves matter? The threshold question in this case is, are these documents national defense information? Do they include national defense information, not what's specifically stated in the documents themselves? So Waltine Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira tried to argue that in order for them to show that they had no intent to steal this classified information, they want to look at it in order to show that they don't know anything about the subject material in the classified documents themselves, because, one person's just, the coffee boy, the other person is a maintenance worker, or what they call now to the body man. And then so Judge Aileen Cannon, though, says, okay, but you don't need to look at the documents to state that. You can just say that you didn't know what was in the documents. Why would you need to look at war plans or nuclear codes or highly classified information for you to say that you didn't know what those documents are? If you don't know what they are, you shouldn't even have to look at it, is basically the thrust of Judge Aileen Cannon's order denying the access to Carlos de Oliveira and Waltine Nauta. What will be interesting to see is when Judge Aileen Cannon issues her order regarding Donald Trump. I mean, that same logic would seem to hold, right? Special counsel Jack Smith's going to argue, look, we can do substitutions of these documents. We can replace them with things, but we don't want to turn over the nuclear information back to Donald Trump. We don't want to turn over the war plans themselves to Trump or any criminal defendant. They shouldn't have access to it. And the issue is we can say, and Judge, you've seen these documents, we can say that these involve war plans, that this is indeed national defense information, and we can say what the document was basically about, but it's not relevant or helpful for Trump to actually have the underlying, the substance within the classified documents is irrelevant, is what special counsel Jack Smith will argue. And here, at least with respect to Donald Trump's co-defendants, Walty Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, Judge Aileen Cannon agreed with special counsel Jack Smith. She grants special counsel Jack Smith's motion, and she hints at, in the opening paragraph, that there's going to be a forthcoming motion, at least denying some of all of the defendants' claim, and Trump would be included in all of that. So we'll keep you posted as we learn more. Thank you for watching. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network, and have an excellent day.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.